Hello, my name's Odessa Esco, and this is Commonly Confused English. Make sure you subscribe, and at the end of the video, leave a like and a comment if I've helped you in any way. If you want to follow along on my Google Docs, that is linked in my bio at the top of my channel, please do so. It'll have the written version with more explanations and more examples for you to follow along with. Today's two words are every time and all the time. They're not just words today, we're focusing on the full sentence and phrase. This is not a comparison between every and all. If you would like that video, leave a comment down below. Let's start with every time. Every time is how we talk about the relationship between an event or a time with another event and time. For example, every time I make a YouTube video, I wear makeup. I'm describing the relationship between when I wear makeup and when I make a YouTube video. The biggest mistake I hear with every time is people using it when they're trying to talk about frequency. Frequency is how much or how little something happens. In Canada, in the wintertime, snowing is a frequent occurrence, whereas really hot summer day weather is very infrequent. Very, very, very rare, actually. As soon as you start to talk about how often something happens, that's when you need to switch and use all the time. First thing to know about all the time is that it is not literally used in the English language. Most of the times if you hear all the time, it just means a really high frequency, or it means that the person has a high level of experience or a high level of skill in something. For example, if you're really nervous and you're at the doctor's office, a nurse might tell you, hey, don't worry about your surgery. The doctor does it all the time. Maybe they do it once or twice a year, but for whatever reason in that practice, that's a high level of frequency. So the nurse knows that this man or this woman is not really doing it every single day, but they're doing enough that they have enough skill to make sure they do it right every time. Therefore, they tell the patient, don't worry, they do this all the time. The biggest mistakes I hear is just when people mix up frequency and relationship sentences. For example, I often hear students say, my boss gives me too much work every time. Every time they give me too much work. In this case, they're talking about how frequently they get work. So, frequency, all. My boss gives me work all the time. In most scenarios, you can actually use every time or all the time. It's just how you create your sentence. For example, every time I get ready to go home, my boss gives me more work. Every time I'm about to leave the office, my boss gives me an assignment. In that sentence, we're talking specifically about when you're trying to leave and them giving you new work. We're creating a relationship with these two events. Every time you're trying to leave, boss gives you new work. We're going to say every time. Now, if you just want to talk about how frequently your boss gives you work, not related to any other action or event, you'll just say, my boss gives me so much extra work all the time. This isn't related to any other time or action, it's just stating the frequency of extra work your boss gives. We can also combine these. My boss gives me extra work all the time. Every time I try to leave the office, they give me a new assignment. So there we're combining how frequent we get work and when we get the work. And you can see where I use every and where I use all the time. I know this video is short, but to be super clear, every time is for creating a relationship, an understanding for the person, to let them know that this happens when this happens. They're connected. We use all the time just to talk about frequency, and we use it in an exaggerated way. It never usually means 100% of the time. It just means a high frequency or a high level of skill. All right, make sure to click the links in my description, like, comment, and subscribe, and tell somebody if you think I would be of help to them, my channel. I'll see you in my next video. Stay cute. Bye.